Students, in today's session, we will talk about the poem Our Casuarina Tree by Indian poetess Torudat. This poem is prescribed in BA Part 3rd, Paper 1st of English Literature in MGSU University, Bikaner. So, Torudat was the first Indian woman poet who born in Kolkata in 1856 in a respectable Bengali Christian family. She received her education in Europe. She was a poet of genius and was interested in the songs and legends of ancient India. She died at the very early age of 20 when she was 21 years old in 1877. And this poem actually here published in 1881. This poem Torudat actually celebrates the majesty of the Casuarina tree that she used to see by her window, and remembers her happy childhood days spent under it, and revives her memories with her beloved siblings. So it still remains one of the most popular poems in modern Indian literature. So now begin with the text of the poem. Here we go. Like a huge python winding round and round, the rugged trunk indented deep with scars, up to its very summit near the stars, a creeper climbs in whose embraces bound no other tree could lay, but gallantly the giant wears the scarf, and flowers are hung in crimson clusters all the boughs among, whereon all day are gathered bird and bee, and often at nights the garden overflows with one sweet song that seems to have no close, sung darkling from our tree where my men repose. So this poem basically begins with the description of this particular tree. The poet here says that the creeper has wound itself around the rugged trunk of the Casuarina tree like a huge python. The creeper has left deep marks on the trunk of the tree. The tree is so strong that it bears the tight hold of the creeper. So the tree is described as being gallant and possibly brave, as very few trees could survive in the single hold of this creeper. So the poet then goes on to describe the life that thrives amidst very facet of this tree. That tree is metaphorically said as a giant due to its huge size and strength and its boldness. So this tree is also covered with creeper, which bears red crimson flowers, which appear as though the tree is wearing a colorful scarf. And so here the tree is compared to the huge python, which conveys the massiveness of this tree. So here the poetical literary device simile has been used in the very first line of the poem, and with this we move ahead with the second stanza of the poem. When first my casement is wide open thrown, at dawn my eyes delighted on it rest. Sometimes, and most in winter, on its crest, a grey baboon sits statue-like alone, watching the sunrise, while on lower boughs his puny spring leap about and play, and far and near kokillas hail the day. And to dear pastures venture our sleepy cows, and in the shadow on the broad tank cast, by that hoar tree so beautiful and vast, the water lilies spraying like snow and mist. So here in this second stanza, it actually moves from the objective description of the tree to the impact it has on the poem. The narrator, whose eyes are what she feels that her eyes are delighted on its jest. So the power of observation and the selection of the detail instill the poem with interest. So next she again talks about that there is a grey baboon which sits alone on this tree like a statue, while its puny offspring leap about and play, and the kokilas which are singing, so they are just hailing the day near and far. So there are sleepy cows who are walking under this tree through the meadow, and on the big tank in the garden the massive trees are reflected. So the shadow of this tree is reflected in the tank, water tank. So the blooming now snow white water lilies make the scene more charming. So it looks like that the water lilies flowers, they look like just blooming snow. So it makes the whole natural scenery much more charming. And next here, actually when at dawn time, when the poet opens her window, she is very much delighted to see the tree, and mostly in winters a grey baboon which is seen sitting on the crest of this tree, seeing just like it is looking at the sun rising, and with her younger one sleeping, a little younger one also, this is sleeping around him and playing in the tree's boughs. So and also the shadow of the tree appears to fall on the used water tank. So all these kind of things, actually here the third poet describes about the majestic appearance of the Casuarina tree that is very much dear to her heart and her soul. And also in the third stanza, when she talks about that, but not because of its magnificence, dear is the Casuarina to my soul. Beneath it we have played, though years may roll. O sweet companions, loved with love intense, for your sakes shall their tree be ever dear. Blent with your images it shall arise in memory till the hot tears blind mine eyes. What is that does like murmur that I hear, like the sea breaking on a single beach? What like the sea breaking on a single beach? It is the tree's lament and every speech that haply to the unknown land me reach. So now, in this third stanza, the poetess affirms the tree is so dear to her that the reason of its closeness, not because of its magnificence or its grandeur, but for the memories of her childhood beneath the boughs of that tree with her beloved companions, with her beloved siblings, brothers and sisters. So actually it has been many years now, and still she gets energy from her sweet childhood memories beneath this tree. So this tree is ever dear to her, and it is capable to fill her eyes with tears, because many years have been passed and still she heard the murmur like sound from the boughs to the tree, like pebbles in the bank. So it's the sad murmur from raised by its branches that may reach far off lands. So, and the first stanza, the poet says that unknown yet well known to the eye of faith, I have heard that wail far, far away in distant lands by many a sheltered bay, when slumbered in his cave the water wrath, and the waves gently kissed the classic shore of France or Italy beneath the moon, when earth lay tranced in dreamless swoon, and every time the music rose before mine inner vision rose a form sublime. Thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime I saw thee in my own loved native Chan. So in the fourth stanza, she talks about the memories of the tree which are deeply rooted at the poet's heart. And in her girlhood, she knows that the tree is, she has left that her old land, but still she gets the highest grief from the tree into the distant lands. So those beautiful memories of her, that massive tree, stir her heart, even when she is in foreign countries like Italy or France. So here, that actually attracts her inner feelings, that appeal her inner nostalgic feelings which are arising by just recalling her past memories of her childhood, about her the loving days which she has spent with her brother and sister. So this tree actually reminds the poet's childhood days, and the poet says that this is dearer to her soul, not because of its magnificence, but the memory of her brother and sister who have played under this dear tree during her childhood. So this merriment of her childhood days which have passed away, and still when the poet looks at the tree, so that memory of her childhood days come to her mind. So next, moving with the next stanza of this poem, where the poet says that, therefore I fain would consecrate a lay unto thy honor, tree, beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for any repose. Dearer than life to me, alas, were they, mayst thou be numbered when my days are done, with deathless trees like those in Burrell Dale, under whose awful branches lingered pale fear trembling hope, and death the skeleton, and time the shadow, and thou weak the worst that would thy beauty fain. Oh, fain rehearse, my love defend thee from oblivion's curse. So here, in the last stanza of this poem, the poetess, she says that she actually wishes to consecrate the tree's memory and the importance for the sake of those who are now dead, that her siblings, her companions who are now dead, and looks ahead to her, when she also looks ahead to her own death, hoping that this tree be spared obscurity, that this tree be spared of obscurity, means she wants to immortalize this tree through her poem. That, like Wordsworth sanctified the yew trees of Borodale, she has referred the trees, that natural priest Borodale of Wordsworth, about which Wordsworth also has talked about in his poems, that she says that may love defend thee from oblivion's curse, expressing her wish that love shield her tree against the curse of forgetfulness. That oblivion's curse means that the curse of forgetfulness, so that the tree be remembered out of love, not because it cannot be forgotten. So this is about her individual, her nostalgic feelings, in which that poetess wishes to dedicate this whole poem in the honor of her beloved tree and her beloved companions who are associated with it. So she affirms the Casuarina tree will remain even after her death, along with other trees as it's now. So also she affirms that this poem written in praise of this beloved tree will also immortalize in the world, just like the beautiful memories of her dead companions. So this whole poem is actually written in the autobiographical tone, in conversational tone, like while the poet is living in abroad, she is pining for the scenes of her native land and is reliving the memories of her childhood. So when in the first part of the poem, the poet depicts the Casuarina tree trail by a crippled vine like a used python, winding round and round the trunk, sunken with the deep scars. It reaches to the height when it summits to the very summit of stars, and the tree is so dear to the poet because it is the soul of bond between the poet's past and present. When she recalls it, a chain of pleasant and poignant memories occur to her mind again and again. She tastes the flavor of her childhood actually. In her imagination, she is again transported to the golden age of her childhood days, and hears the same cries, same laughter, the same noise of her sweet departed playmates who are her brother and sisters. So this tree reminds of her siblings who used to play with her under this tree. So this is all about the poem written by Toruda, and I hope you have understood this, the gist or the central idea of this poem. Now we will discuss the other things of this poem regarding the various literary aspects or the analytical aspects of this poem, the rhyme schemes or like what are the literary devices has been used in this poem in our next session. Thank you very much.